This is WSN. Love it or leave it. The underdog's on top, and you can either agree or disagree with her. But either way, the tribe is all here. This is a tribe called Jess. You can call the show anytime at 855-77-WYLDE. That's 855-779-9533.
And welcome to a tribe called Jess. What's up, guys?
How's it going?
How are you guys doing?
Amazing.
It was cold today.
It was cold today.
Yeah,
It was cold today. And you went to the game this weekend. It was cold. It was cold.
Yeah, I was drunk as fuck.
Was it raining?
We know.
It
Julio
rained
and I
after
know.
the game. Great game. Amazing.
It was a great game.
Yeah.
It was a great game, and we held Pittsburgh to a point. So I was proud of that. And you know what? We're not going to talk a lot about football today because I didn't write it into either. But I will say I like them to come up against these challenging teams that do have, those great defenses, great offense, great leadership, and to hold them to a point with all the mistakes on both sides. We should have capitalized. Absolutely. It teaches them. And I mean, to even be, what were we? We won 3 games last year, and we're still 7-3. So I'm super proud of that, and very excited for Philly. And anyway,
I'll be up at the game.
I know you. I fucking hate you in my hometown.
I know,
I wish it
Philly's
was in
gonna
my
burn.
hometown too.
dude. I'm nervous. First time going up there for
You
the game.
fucking should be. You should be.
And I'm like,
be nice to all the Philly girls.
I love my girls.
Don't mess with no Philly girls. When they hot, they hot.
Yeah.
So welcome to a tribe called Jess, and we're sitting here. We took a week off, which was a good thing. And
A break from you is always great.
Yeah, you wanted a break from me last week, trust me. And we are coming to you from the Salisbury Studios, fueled by Monster Energy. And we are live on Facebook on the Wylde Style Network page. Make sure you give a follow there. We are also live on YouTube, and you can join our YouTube chat. That will be coming up in a minute. And that is the Wylde Style Network. And please subscribe. We really appreciate it. And you can follow me on all my socials, as well as the tribe at Tribe Called Jess on all socials. And Tribe Called Jess, the #1 on Instagram. So drop a follow. And what else do we got going on? Want to say happy Veterans Day to all our veterans. That was on Monday. And we thank you for your service, your sacrifice, and the service and sacrifice of your families. Because without their families, it doesn't work. You know what I mean? It's a lot of support. And they sacrifice too so much. So, and I want to give a special shout out, of course, to my brother who is serving our great country overseas. And he's coming up very quickly on that 20-year marker, and to give our country 20 years of service. And he's so dedicated, and I'm just so proud of him. So Jake, happy Veterans Day. Thank you for your service. And I have sacrificed many gray hairs worrying about you.
Thank you, buddy. Appreciate it.
Yeah, we do. You
Thank
better
you for your
say
service.
thank you. Yeah, to my brother. And a real quick announcement of events. We have Taylor Swift. I'm sorry. Let's start here. This Saturday, we have TCB fights coming up. It's DMV's longest running and most successful Muay Thai kickboxing promotion. And if you had not been to an event here at the Salisbury Center, especially a fight put on by Wylde Style Productions, you are missing out. You can go to tcbtickets.com, or you can hit myself up, or the website up as well, for a table. So we've been selling out of tables. I feel like every time we have more and more tables, and they're sold out. So that's going to be exciting. And then on November 30th, we have Taylor Swift, Taylor Nation live sing-along tribute band. She's amazing. She actually tagged me back. I tagged her in a story. She tagged me back, so it was in my story.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Really excited, guys. It's set up like the Eras Tour. We have swag bags for VIP if you want VIP tables. First 200 GA get LED light up bracelets. Gaining some traction. People are really excited. People were really excited at First Friday when I spoke to them about it.
Yeah.
So for those who love Taylor or didn't go to the Eras Tour, I think it's going to be just a really good time. Sing our hearts out. Female rage. No, that was when she came out with Tortured Poet. For reference, before I get attacked, when she came out with Tortured Poets Department, it was Female Rage, the something version.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
it was funny. So that's going to be a really good time. Go to shoptaylornation.com, shoptaylornation.com, and you can get your tickets or tables there. So, and I have my outfit bought and prepared.
Yeah, you were talking about it.
Are you? A lot of people we know are coming, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you guys coming for real, or are you?
Julio was asking about it yet.
What day is it again?
November 30th.
The Saturday after the Thanksgivings.
Okay.
Yeah,
We'll
I
see.
think you guys got to come. I mean, how many Taylor Swift sing-alongs have we had when people piss me off in the car? If people could only see. Oh,
Yeah,
God.
45. I had a 45-minute ride was it from Echo Stage to?
No, we were in Arlington.
Oh yeah. Now it all came
I
back.
was so mad, and
Yeah.
I just turned on Taylor at the top of my lungs and the entire way home. And then I'm crying, and I pull in, and Frankie's like, "I think I should just stay with you." I'm like, "I'm fine. I mean, I was not drinking, not drunk, nothing like that." And I pull in the car. I'm like, "Okay, I'm fine now," and not another word. Frankie's like, "How the fuck do you do that?" So anyway, so we're going to record tonight. We don't know if we're going to record again until December or January. We'll make that decision within this week of whether we're recording again in December or January. So more to come on that. If we do record in January, of course, or December, we will do our New Year's Eve drinking special. So we shall see, or maybe we'll just do that. I'll talk to the producer of the show, my
My
good friend
liver is
Jeff,
going to
and
get
we'll
a break.
decide.
I know, right?
Right. And then
I mean,
this,
it's okay. Just skip my birthday. It's all right.
So this will be our last live show for a bit. And then we are going to stay here and not go live and record another episode to drop, I believe, next week. So hopefully, you'll watch that when I hope you're not fighting with your family at Thanksgiving. You can watch our show if you are.
Oh, that'd be nice.
Yeah.
Something that's not football.
Are you guys doing anything?
What is it going to
the-
be released on Thursday, like for Thanksgiving or what?
I don't know. John, when's the show going to be released?
But up to you. So we could do it next Thursday on Thanksgiving, or we could do it whenever you'd like to do it. Or we could do it Wednesday.
We'll have to think
We
about
can hold
this
it.
one.
You tell me. I mean,
We'll have to think about this one. Anyway, thank you, John.
Well, we're staying at home, right, Julio? We're not.
Yeah. We'll see how good the episode is first before we release it.
Yeah,
I'll be in Kentucky.
that's right. You're flying out. Julio and I
Yeah.
were staying
I'm
home.
not flying out. I'm driving.
We ordered these
Stuffed hens again.
yeah,
We
stuffed hens.
spent like last Thanksgiving. I was laid up with my eyes stitched from having plastic.
Oh
surgery
yeah,
on
we
my
went to
eyes.
D's.
I
And we
have
went
that
to-
picture.
That's
and,
right.
and we went to D's, and I'm like, no. I just had the other part of my surgery done. Remember,
Yeah.
my head was wrapped, my
Yeah.
neck.
That
and
was
all
a year ago already.
It was-
Wow.
I had the surgery November 20th, the second surgery. I did my eyes November 2nd. So my eyes are over a year old. And my neck and the rest of my face are like
Happy anniversary.
happy anniversary to my face.
I know.
Anyway, so a couple of people have asked me if I was going to, many people, I shouldn't say a couple, have asked me if I was going to address the election or things said to it. And yes, the answer is yes and no. Because, well, I'll get to that other part. But first, I want to kind of preface this of saying, I've kind of spent this week, Frankie, I know you know this, but for the grace of God, go I. So to stay in my grace and to, I think that statement kind of keeps you in humility. It keeps you remembering to stay judgment free.
Yeah.
And I think that was really important for me personally, and keeps you in a place of gratitude for everything that is good. The good old book of Corinthians is always a good one. And so I think a couple things I want to say is, I love this country. I love this country so very much. I'm so proud to be an American. I truly, truly am. And I respect our Constitution so deeply. And I believe in the peaceful transfer of power greatly. I think democracy is such a beautiful thing. And when the majority speaks, you have a peaceful transfer of power. And that's super important for our democracy. We're so fortunate to live in a democracy. And for anybody that causes that unrest is disgusting to me. So I think we're very fortunate. In answer to talking, if I would talk more about it or not, I love talking about social topics, politics, social issues, history. I enjoy those, and I enjoy them with proper debate with people who are willing to talk back, and vice versa, right?
Correct, yeah.
And this platform was never made for that, because or this show, excuse me, not platform. This show wasn't made for that, because when I first started airing, I don't think that anybody is really ready for having good conversations, right? High level speaking, of course.
Yeah.
And I believe that when people come to a conversation, and I think this is what's happening all around, to purposely misunderstand each other, those are never good conversations, right? Those accomplish nothing. We can't reach across to at least try to understand where somebody else is coming from. And so I wrote down a couple of things I want to say. One of my and right now, I just think there's a lot of visceral hate, and we really got to get rid of this narrative or the rhetoric of just visceral hate. I mean, it's just disgusting to watch the hate, and that's targeted at no one from me, meaning it's just terrible to watch. And it's so common to me, and so like just gross. And that's not to I hate the word sides. That's not to one side or the other. That's anybody who's spitting out visceral hate. I don't give a fuck. Grow up. Don't be common. Get some class, and let's all move on. Not move on from how you feel. Just move on from that kind of rhetoric.
Yeah, I agree.
One of my first memories, my parents, I didn't have a very traditional childhood, but both my parents were big on culture and education and things like that. And one of my first memories, for real, this is honest to God, I remember exactly, the house we were living in. I can see the furniture in my mind. I was 5 years old, and it was Reagan and Carter. And so my parents were big on, there was only like 3 channels, guys. We didn't have any other streaming TV. And I remember my parents, as I got older, on both of them equally, and they were very different people, and they weren't together. And they always told me, Jessica, when you go to an argument, or to a debate, excuse me, not an argument, go educated, ask the question first, and go and seek out answers, and seek out till you really feel like you found the right answer. The second thing you come with to a discussion with somebody, and I'm not saying I perfect this, believe me, I work on it every day, is that you have to be willing to reach across and understand how someone else feels with regulation of control of your emotions, and to try and control how you react to people. You have to seek to understand. They didn't say those words, seek to understand, but that's how I correlate that now in my adult life. And to always be willing to learn. And I think that's super important. And they said, if you don't, and not verbatim, but if you can't and aren't willing to and don't do those things, then walk away from that discussion until you can. And hence why I haven't engaged or respond to certain things that were said to me, or what I would consider not very kind. So I just didn't say anything back, because I can't control my own emotion, and I can't control my reaction, and therefore, and I don't owe anybody anything. And, if you ask if I'm okay, not really, but I'll be fine. I think that as we, and we'll get off of this, but I wanted to make sure I said this because I don't ever want to talk about it on this show again. I think as we go to our day to day, as much as one side celebrates and one side is very sad, and again, we are all one people, that as much as you celebrate, don't mock people that are upset. And as much as people are upset, you can't mock people necessarily that are celebrating. People are allowed to feel how they feel. Whether you agree with how they feel or their opinion, they're allowed to feel how they feel. And they feel it deeply. And some people feel it. And I think assumptiveness is the mother of all fuck-ups. And if you're assuming someone feels a certain way because of a certain thing, then you're fucking up. Because there's many reasons people feel the way they feel. And I know that was kind of a play on words, but the reason I reacted or in certain ways in my own self, and then people kind of outwardly assumed, is so wrong, and they have no idea. And I don't feel I need to share that with them. I owe no one an explanation. So anyway, I did want to say that the one thing, and this has nothing to do with women and choice and nothing. So I don't want to talk about that on this program. But the rhetoric that's going around, and I have screenshots where it happened to me on Saturday. Look, I'm 49. I can handle it. I've dealt with this from people my whole life. But to go around to any woman and walk up to them as a male, as anybody, or a woman going up to a male and saying it, I'm always fair. Your body, my choice, is never okay. It is technically a direct threat of sexual assault that is, again, never okay. And I feel like people are trying to justify this, and it's happening to girls in middle school, in high school, in colleges. It's happening all over TikTok and Twitter mostly. You're not seeing it as much on Facebook or Instagram. And if anybody thinks that that's justifiable and ever okay, then that's insane to me, because I guarantee you in this past summer, you wouldn't have thought it was okay. It's not okay anywhere, ever. So we need to be taking up, if you're hearing that rhetoric from or people saying this, I don't care who it is, especially as a man, just you need to be taking up and protecting women. That I don't, that disturbs me. And I worry for young girls in terms of them being said to them. And, you know, guys who feel emboldened to say that, I really feel that you need to really take a self-check and say, you know, where is my moral compass? Because that's all I can say. But I did want to clear that up, or not clear it up, but say what I had to say. I'm never a person to attack. You know, if I'm going to attack, then I can't get up behind this microphone. And last week, I definitely would have attacked. And I don't want to do that. That's not who I am. I've worked really hard not to be that person. And yeah. And the final thing, two more points I want to make. This country has always been about community. I think it works because we are a great community. And when we reach out and help another, however that community works for you, whether that's getting involved in local positions of politics or groups to help the community as a whole with whatever is important to you, or something as little as going up to somebody and maybe, you know, helping them with a house project, or talking to your neighbor about important issues, or buying someone a meal at, you know, if you see them in struggle, whatever that is, that's what makes it work. Because if we all have that mindset, then we're all helping each other, and people get fixed a little bit more at a time, or they have hope so they can go another day. And maybe the next day is their best day they ever had. And so I hope that we get back to community. And the final thing I heard today, and I thought it resonated, I posted it, was by the Dalai Lama. And we were born to help people. And if we can't help them, at least try not to hurt them. And so if you guys these are not your views. These are not Wylde Style Network Productions views. These are my views. And if you guys have anything to say, we'll get along with some crazy, wacky shit. But I felt like I need to say something because I was getting a lot of messages, and it is a platform, and I understand maybe through my YouTube channel, but not because that's not associated with here. And even though other podcasts talk about politics, it's not what I'm comfortable with talking about.
No, I'm glad you clarified some things and expressed yourself. I'm just a little bit, I guess, saddened with the way the people have reacted to when, you know, what happened to sportsmanship, right? To being classy. You win, you move on, you congratulate the winning party, and then you make amends and you move on. But the fact that people are just bullying and mocking and just degrading people is just ridiculous. Like, you know,
and I do think that goes in all fairness, it goes all the way around. You know, it's just we got to let people get through and process. I mean, this one was different for a lot of people, right?
Yeah.
An election, usually you're just like, okay. I think this one was different. It definitely was different for me. I've never been affected by something so much, and I don't want to get any deeper than that. Hold on one sec. We have our YouTube chat. Dan Gray is on. I love you too, Dan. You're one of the greatest humans and such my other emotional support human besides Frankie, and I appreciate you and Carrie so much. And then OG Dad, well said. Thank you. I worked hard on that. and to make sure that I didn't mess up. But go ahead, Frankie. I'm sorry.
Oh, no. And then back to the, when it comes to what they're saying to women, that's just, there's no room for that in society to feel emboldened to be able to say something like that to just anybody, not just women, but just to say that to anybody, to think you have the right to govern over somebody else's body and, against your will. That's ridiculous.
Against your will. He's not talking about pro-choice and pro-life for everybody. He's talking about what I said, where I've not heard of any women saying it. Yeah. So in all fairness, if they did, I'd tell them to fuck off too. Where men are going around saying your body, my choice. That's disgusting. And as someone who's experienced it, I wouldn't, not going too far. I mean, it's disgusting.
Yeah.
It's just, and experience misogyny for sure. So thank you, Laura. I appreciate that. Laura said, beautifully said. I appreciate that. Julio, anything to say?
It's definitely not the aura. Major ick.
The what?
The your body, my choice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I have the screenshot and I posted it the other day, and then I was just like, I took it. It's not worth it because I think it would hurt me more if anybody tried to justify that I knew. I would just be sick and like, how can you justify this? Look, you're online. I think, shit happens anyway, and it's going to happen, but it's happening at a rapid rate. It's even more so, it's more disturbing to me in the real life, because that is right there in your face. And girls that are younger don't know how to regulate, and they feel violated in a different way than I do. I'm just like, you motherfuckers. They're feeling like, oh my God, that feeling as a 21-year-old is way different than I feel right now.
Yeah.
And I know how I would have felt at that age. And, that leaves little scars that turn into big scars that develop distrust towards men. And unfortunately, so.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Anything else to say, Julio?
Ladies, it's time to kick ass.
I mean, duh.
Yeah.
Women, don't take your foot off the clutch, not for one fucking minute. You know your assignment. Anyway, so let's get on. We have, we're going to call this episode The Purge. And why I called it The Purge was because, and real quick, pause, Dan, thank you so much. Hi, Carrie. They're watching together. Frankie, if I hear one more thing about your set, Stan, from Frankie, I mean, I'm going to just send him over there so you can play him music all day. If you don't know Dan Gray, follow him on SoundCloud. He is an amazing DJ. Just so incredibly proud of him and the strides he's made. I mean, just so sick.
His mixes are incredible.
I know. Frankie's like, have you heard Dan's latest set?
No,
it's like,
Dan,
it's amazing.
We're not kidding.
It's ridiculous.
We're not kidding. And then we played it at the Commanders game really loud in covered parking. I'm sure they just loved us. And then,
I mean, it was a great set.
It was.
It really was.
They're all good. He has another one. They're so good. It's ridiculous.
Just stop waterboarding me with it. Frank's got me like in the corner of the car, like tied up and like, can you feel it, bro?
Okay, so I wanted to call it The Purge because I think you sent me a couple of things, and I'm like, wait, I feel like we got to purge a lot of stuff over the last few years of just stuff we're fed like online as it comes to dating and relationships.
Yeah.
And I believe that, hey, a movement starts with one person, and let us be the three people that start it. We're welcome to come over and jam. Cool. So I said, I kind of wrote down, we need to purge all of this bullshit we're being fed on love, friendship, and relationships. And I think we're absolutely fortunate to have forums where we can go on and we can talk about things, and that communication has become more extensive, and that we're open about subjects and they're not taboo. On the flip side of that, I mean, it's gotten to the point that, it's like, okay, what's really going on? So I'm going to let John play this first clip, and we're going to talk about it.
I see it in girlfriends and guy.
I think. Guys, talk for a sec.
Trying to.
I know, like, clip me in, John.
Sorry, guys.
No, it's I like how you introduced that, because like everybody seems to have a podcast. Obviously, everybody has an opinion, but so much stuff is just being fed, and and it's so divisive, and they use it.
Okay. Oh, go ahead. Let's
he's ready?
play it. Yeah.
Thank God. Frank is about to start playing Dan.
I see it in girlfriends and guy friends. Men and women can no longer encounter each other without suspicion. And these suspicions might not come from anything they've experienced. They're borrowed from some podcast clip online. So there's an entire industry online now poisoning the dating well. So now I don't encounter a woman authentically. There's a preemptive distrust and defensiveness. I'm constantly assessing risk instead of just experiencing her. Something is ordinary and natural and universal as men like to chase women, women like to be chased. You go on the internet and it's spun to reveal some dark truth about male entitlement and aggression. Or on the other side, that women will take advantage of you. What's happening through the internet is so tragic because it also becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy, where when you're more suspicious and guarded and they respond to that guarded energy by being a bit cold, you say, I knew I couldn't trust them. Also, something has to be said about a culture that is obsessed with psychologizing everything. There's a diagnosis for every little behavior and it's so paralyzing. A miscommunication is a narcissistic tendency. Wanting space is having attachment issues. So now I can't just encounter you as you. You represent all my worst theories.
So good.
Wow.
I agree
dead
with
on.
him 100%. And so before, I'm going to let you say your piece first, and I'll go last since you found it. And I was like, look at Frankie just writing the show, because you sent me all these. I had to dissect them today and go, what do I really think? But look at you, Frankie, just helping me out. And on the second, I mean, we're on the next one. I'm just proud of you and Julio and my July. But okay, here's my purge. We were going to allow people to show up authentically without all this bullshit and meet them where they are. And now, that's not to say that we negate bad things about somebody, but we've got to stop having, unless they're a wackadoodle, which at the end of the show with the little sex thing I have, that guy was a wackadoodle for saying that on a first date. But but I'll let you say your piece and then we'll go on.
No, we had this conversation when I've told you that it feels like there's always a label for something nowadays, right? Mm-hmm. And okay, I always go back to self-awareness and working on yourself. What happens now that we all live in society that there's so much trauma that when we start getting help from a therapist, and they start helping us analyze certain things, now what happens is we tend to apply that to everything. And that's what he was talking about. Like, now all of a sudden, everybody's a narcissist. Right now everything's a huge red flags. Of course, there's always red flags. And there's nothing wrong with being selfish with certain things. But I always say being vulnerable is what I always like about dating and relationships, right? You got to go in there and take a chance. But if you go in there thinking that you're going to be used, that, people are this and that, then you're going to fail because you're looking for stuff. You're looking for things to go wrong. And when you do that, things are going to go wrong.
Julio?
First of all, how dare he say that we psychoanalyze everything?
No, he said psychologize. I love this word. Psychologize.
How dare he come up with that word?
I know. I love it.
I know. But no, it's true. I think, like, realistically, like, from that same millennial generation,
Thanks, Julio.
I blame our I blame our parents that would always tell us to do something without giving us a reason. It's just like, it was because I told you to. Mm-hmm. So we always grew up wanting to know why something would be, and now we just tend to psychologize everything. Mm-hmm. We find the definition, we find the reason for it, and it's a lot of Schrodinger's cat. Like, we'll go wrong. Oh no, that's not the right one. What's the term that anything that can go wrong will go wrong?
Murphy's Law.
Murphy's Law. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, I'm going to throw Schrodinger's cat in there. Like, if we're afraid to open the box, we won't know what's going on with the cat, right? See,
that is very appropriate for this show.
Yeah.
If we don't open the box, we won't know what's going on with the kitty. I like it. I'm going to use that one.
Yeah.
Why I psychologize someone.
Oh, wow. That just sounds
I
even
feel
dirty.
sexy.
Okay, we're going to teach you how to, make words dirty here on
Dirty.
the Tribe Called Jess. Yeah. I'll Schrodinger your cat.
I knew you were a pervert.
No, but back to what I was saying, it's true. We just sometimes we just put ourselves in positions that we want something to be wrong, just so we can say, "I was right. I tried, but I was right."
So I will be the first. I had to really dig deep on this one in my head. I'll be the first to admit that I am a little bit brainwashed in my own head, and part of that might be that sounded bad. Part of that might be just because I'm always watching stuff for the show, and I'm watching
TikToks.
stuff, and I'm sharing to boost our stuff. Like I'm constantly online, and it catches your eye, and I notice when men do like me and approach me that it's almost like I can feel myself like within 2 sentences going up, and it's conscious but subconscious.
Yeah.
And I think it's twofold for me. I think this is different for other women. I think for me, how can I get out of this? Even though I might like him, how can I get out of this? How can I get out of this? Even though I'm not afraid that I can't survive pain of a breakup, but it's almost like self-sabotage, right?
Yeah.
But in terms of exactly this reel, it's kind of like I'm already getting like, I don't want to, nope. Oh God, look at what he did. And so I wrote down a couple notes. I think we have to do accountability and take a self-check-in.
Of course, always.
Is this a real, because I noticed like red flag, and I'm like, I don't even think like that. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I'm gonna kind of give a person a chance. I can feel who you are. So if you're bad, I'm not even gonna talk to you.
I don't use that terminology. I don't say red flags. I just don't.
I'm just making a point. I
Yeah.
can feel people's energy. So if I'm already in a conversation, I know they're probably not bad. That doesn't mean I'm always right, obviously. But we
I could
need.
have told you that.
I think taking accountability and doing a self check-in, or kind of a come to Jesus with self in moments, and like, is he really giving you a red flag, really,
Yeah.
Jess, or whatever you want to call it, right? I think we have to take accountability. I think we're just finding things, and I would agree with that. And what I would say, and I've been doing this now, and not for this reason, but I have been doing it because I think a lot of stuff put online, guys, is taken out of context. So you need to go back and watch the full podcast
Yeah.
of the clip that you're watching, because when you actually see the whole thing, the message is totally different a lot
Yeah,
of
it's
times, or
crazy.
it's a really positive message about men and women. That's just one clip you saw. We do it too. It's clickbait.
Yeah.
It's get you to come and watch it. That's any advertiser knows, from print, from way back in the newspaper to, what we do here. That's advertising, and it's good business
Like
and
Jess
good
said,
advertising.
it's all about getting you to come.
It's all about getting you to
Yeah,
come.
but it's a
baby.
thing. It's a huge difference with, like you said, a bait clip with
Clickbait.
clickbait. It's a huge difference with clickbait and manipulation. You see what I'm saying? Because
Yeah.
it's like it's completely nowadays. People try to manipulate you into thinking a certain way, and if you allow it, you'll get caught up in that.
Well, I
wave.
think like anything, if it's over and over and over again, that's with anything. We talked about this, the
Yeah.
psychology of hearing
That's how the
something
brain-
over
that's how the
and
brain
over.
works.
Yes, it's how the brain absolutely works. And I think that, that, go watch the full episodes and use your discernment, and then you can go, okay, like, now this makes sense to me. But you're only watching clips, you're being convinced. Guilty here. I'll always call myself out. Guilty here. Of finding things, a fault that's wrong that really isn't there. And you do kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? You pull this in, and now you're judging these guys, these girls. She's standoffish. He's pulling back. And it's just, it's a yin and yang or whatever.
Cat and mouse?
Yin and yang, right? I can't hear you.
He said
Yin and
yin
yang.
and yang.
Yin and yang.
Yeah.
Yin Yang twins.
Yin, yang.
And then stop psychologizing everything. I couldn't agree more. Like, you have to really dig down and know what these terms mean.
Yeah.
Like, every person that walks this earth has a narcissistic tendency, narcissistic moments. There's a difference between that and a narcissist. There's also a difference between somebody just doesn't fucking like you anymore and a narcissist.
Yeah.
And that goes on both sides. And there's a difference between we're in the middle of a fight and I gaslit you one time and somebody who gaslights you all the time.
Yeah.
And you got it. stop taking it and labeling everybody. When I know true narcissism when you see it. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah.
Then there's people that can trick you a little bit. They're very good at it. And then we all have narcissistic moments. And if you think you don't, you need to check yourself, because you absolutely do. I do. And I'll hear myself saying it and be like, oh my God, you bitch. This is manipulative and evil. And I don't
even
like
the
it.
guy said, like, you know, the guy pursues, right? And now as a guy, you don't even know what to do, because it's like the term I learned. The new term I learned on the podcast was love bombing, right? And
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
like, oh
God, that
my
was so long
God.
ago.
It's like not another term, because now instead of people appreciating the person, you know, being loving, being generous and kind, now he's like, is he love bombing me? Is he trying to manipulate me? It's like, wow, enjoy the moment. The guy's probably like,
I know, just like intention.
yeah.
Love bombing sounds like Dutch ovening somebody.
Yes.
That's ovening.
What is that?
When you fart under cover and,
And pull the covers over their head. I love bombed them.
Oh my God,
But
guys.
that's the thing, you know. I guess you know why? Because half of society is seeing a therapist, so everything they're being taught, they're applying
Yeah,
it and
'cause
trying to teach it to somebody else.
No, because a therapist, I don't agree with that. Therapy has always been around, and people have seen therapy. It just was less talked about it. I
And a
mean, my
lot of
first
it was
therapy
I
visit.
said
Alcohol
more
related.
people are seeing therapists.
I don't think more people are seeing therapists.
Yeah.
I think more people have access or talk about seeing therapists, maybe. Maybe more are. Who knows? We can pull a stat. But I think, Frankie, with love bombing, I agree with you, because let me explain. When somebody love bombs you and does all nice things for you, that's going to be over a time, right? When they're talking about true narcissistic
Yeah.
love bombing, that's not. Yes, if a guy asked me a vacation on date 2, hold on one sec, guys. Sorry.
Sorry, 30% of America goes to therapy.
30% of America goes to therapy.
In 2020.
90% needs to.
90%.
Can you look up the number, what it was, like in the
Or-
70s, 80s?
Guys, or you can just admit we're all fucking crazy and just move on.
Compare the alcohol sales from the 70s to today.
All right, can we get on topic? So a love bombing comes over time. It's extensive. It's trips. It can be overdoing everything, blah, blah, but it normally is over time, right? Somebody who's just I'm a giver. Not like that. Well, like that too. But I'm a
Oh,
giver.
you're naturally a love bomber.
But what a love bomber will do is their intention, and I've been a part of love bombing and been tricked very badly. Their intention is to flip that on you and use it as a form of control. And when it happens, you can tell, because it's like, oh, I'm doing all this for you and you can't do this for me. You know, I'm doing this. Oh, you're hurting my feeling. Like, that's a true narcissistic behavior. And, you know, until they recognize they're narcissistic, they're not popping out of it.
Yeah.
I
mean,
hate, and love bombing can come from anyone.
and the thing is that, so what's created, at least for me, because like when I deal with, you know, with the ex-wife or with my kids, but you know, it almost seems like you really have to be careful how you phrase things, right? Because it, like, quickly it could be like, you know, if you say, you know, if you tell them, oh, what you did to me made me feel this way, you know, or you know, whatever behavior, it's labeled. You're this, you're that, and it's like, hold on a second. Like, you know, at least when it comes to my family, I'm like, you've known me for a while. You know how I am.
Are you sure they know you?
You know, yeah, and it's like, so don't be throwing all those labels on me, and you know, because that's what happens. Once again, when you learn, it's like when you learn something new. It's like when you learn a new word, right? All of a sudden, you're applying it in every sentence. That's what happens when you learn.
Well, you know how you stop that, Frankie? You stop. I mean, if you have time or not, stop and have the conversations with them. Be like, hold on, okay, because that's the way the world is, right? So there's a part of it where I hear people go, oh, social media. I'm like, it's here to stay, and it's only getting bigger. I promise. It's only going to get bigger.
Yeah.
And digital, everything will move digital eventually. We can talk and our email will send. Like, I can't wait. I can't wait till I don't have to type another fucking email. But I think having the conversation, and when you have conversations, and if this can be with family, it can be with friends. Love bombing, we're getting off topic, but isn't specific to relationships. Have the conversation, say, hold up, this is where I was coming from, blah, blah, blah. And then they start to change their narrative, because then it's, not everything is. So when a society has gone one way, too much, it is too much. It doesn't, but also, I think some people are upset because they're getting called out because people are more aware. So their tactics don't work. So I think it's a twofold street,
of course.
Right?
I'm not saying it doesn't exist. Obviously it does. But you just can't blanket it on everything.
Well,
you have to,
People, and you just tied in my final thought to this, right?
Yeah.
When it comes to things like this and relating everything to men and women or men on men, anybody, right? Your partners. Be an individualist. Stop letting, be a critical thinker. Be all those things. Stop letting TikTok make your relationship decisions. Me included.
Yeah,
I mean, saying the advice on TikTok, the advice on this, or your girlfriend saying this, or your parents saying this. There is nothing I lose respect for more than people who are so indifferent, don't stand on values. They're quiet, but everybody else makes their decision, or they're. I'm not saying you have to say all your opinions or anything, or I'm just kind of like, they're like the quiet creepers, and I lose respect. I'm like, make decisions for yourself.
Yeah.
They'll go, should I paint my house this color or this color? That's different. Okay, fair.
Yeah, I mean, the goal is to acquire skills, right? So you can make your own decisions, your own choices, your own morals, your own standards, and you gather information as you live. You learn from your friends, you learn from therapists, you learn from what you read, what you see on TV, what you learn in church, what you read, what you learn from your parents, and you see how it functions in society, what's real, what's not real, what's truth, what's not truth, and then you make your own morals and standards and your way of living.
No, I agree. I think be an individual in life. Don't be change or adapt your opinions or not be able to make a decision. Like, stop relying on all this other stuff and say, you know what? I know what I want.
Yeah.
If you do the work on yourself, right? I think anytime you do the work to become a better partner, person, friend, family, then you have to trust yourself. You have to trust those instincts. You got to trust that you've done the work, that you're going to go out and you might fail, but you're still going to be okay. With friends, with family, with partners, you're going to be okay. Look, as long as I don't lose Oshi and Nico. Guys, that's an ongoing joke. As long as I don't lose Oshi and Nico, I'll always be okay. I have to say that to myself. Bless you, whoever sneezed. Okay, let's go to our YouTube chat real quick. You're fine. John Burley joined the chat. He says balance is key with social media. Well, I don't get the opportunity for balance with that because I have to do so many different jobs with social media. But yes, you are correct. I know you do stand on business. And John Burley, I can't thank you enough for checking in on me every day. Best lessons are taught by the neighborhood trunks, so you know what not to do. It's so funny. Julio, what do you think?
What's the opposite of love bombing?
What's the word? Apathy.
There you go.
Apathy, I would say. I'm getting apathetic.
Yeah.
I'm starting to not feel shit. I did actually call you one day, like 2 months ago. Remember that? And I said, Frankie, I'm actually worried. He's like, why? I said, I think I'm becoming an apathetic person. And I said, and I never want to be that person.
Yeah, I agree.
But little by little, it's just apathy, apathy, apathy.
Because nowadays you find yourself, defending yourself, from labels, from things people just want to put you in. And it's like, what the heck?
Yeah. I mean, I think to summarize this little topic, I mean, take what you learn, watch full things for actual reference to make good decisions. Yeah. Absolutely take things you learn. There's nothing wrong with that. But most important, do the work on self. With the work on self comes better choices, I promise, and intention. And then, and again, I'm not the prime example. I'm the prime example on self-work. I just don't date anybody. And I think trust yourself. Trust yourself to take all that you learned and go out into the world, just like your parents said, bye-bye, butterfly, go to school, go to college, because we trusted what we taught you. So trust yourself. If you can raise fucking kids, you can at least trust yourself.
I agree.
That's true.
Yeah, it is
Ain't
true.
that the
But
truth?
it is true. Like, I mean, I sometimes I question a lot of things about myself, and I look at my son, and he's such a good boy. I mean, he really, all in all, Nico, I'm just really proud of who he is as a person. Now, I'm not there, but I trust that he's decent. I hear enough.
Yeah, and I think overall,
And
I would-
so hold on. When I tell myself I can't do something, I'm like, I raised a whole fucking human.
yeah,
Not by myself. Many people pitched in.
And I think the way I see it is, you got to be able to be confident enough that it's, obviously we all try to avoid getting into certain situations, but I think the ultimate goal is, if you ever get into a situation, you want to be able to have the knowledge and the strength, and the ability to be able to get out of the situation. That's how I see it for myself. Like, I'm not afraid if I ever get into a certain situation. I just want to be able to realize that I can, recognize it, get out of it, survive it, and keep living.
So I wasn't going to say this because you just brought that up. I think the harder work is teaching yourself how to value yourself to get out.
Yeah.
I think it's easier to get in relationships, not for me, because I'd sabotage everything. No, I'm kidding. I don't even try. But once you're in, it's hard to get out. And I think the work, I know now that I would actually, if I was a year in and experienced some of the things I had in the past,
Yeah.
that I knew I should go, like, not fixable. I'm saying I need to go. I know now I can go, and I'm sure of it. Like, I'm sure of it as I take a bullet for my son,
Yeah.
without question. And Oshi, no, not Oshi.
It isn't just romantic relationships, right? We're talking about like friendships also.
Oh, I can.
It's
Yeah,
just relationships in general, period.
my shut off. Well, I haven't been in a relationship almost 3 years, but my shut off with people now is just it's there. It's just done.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean I'm rude or don't
No, no,
talk
no.
to them. It just means you're not. For me, it's guarded inner space. I'm not letting you in my space, and I'm also, when next time you need me, I can't be there for you. Like, and that's not a brag. That's not like I'm not going to be there for
but,
you. I'm not
yeah.
even. I just won't.
Yeah, I agree.
You don't get
I mean,
my
I've
energy.
let go on of friendships, both relationships, like type of relationships, like friendships or romantic, where, the person, if I don't reach out, they don't reach out, and instead of me, like, saying, hey, why don't you call me? And I'm like, all right, let it flow. If they don't call me, then I guess it wasn't meant to be. Like, if they're not giving me what I want, then so be it. Whether it's a friendship or romantic, right? Is it easy? It's not. Does it? I mean,
not.
do my feelings get hurt? Of course. But I'm not dwelling in it. I'm not letting it, manipulate me to the point where I'm like, getting depressed or so upset.
I think
know?
letting go of friendships is harder than breakups. Letting go of friendships is definitely, it breaks your heart when you no longer align with friends, or you both have outgrown each other. And when you actually, so many people hang on for so long because we're supposed to be friends forever.
Yeah.
But when things don't line up anymore, or you've outgrown each other, I think it's heartbreaking.
Yeah.
But if you respect and know yourself and know that it's not bringing you peace, that doesn't make them bad. I think that's the problem
Hey.
with people in general. Like, oh, if I'm walking away, it must make her bad or him bad. And I'm like, it doesn't make them bad. Some might suck. Some do suck.
I mean, it could be simple things like, for example, you were friends with people when you were single. And all of a sudden, they're in relationships. They get married. They're having kids. I'm still single. I already raised my kids. I'm like, I love them, but like when they tell me, hey, come by, say hi, say see the baby, I'm kind of like,
Let's hang out as a couple.
I know.
A couple besties, yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Like, yeah, your baby's cute and everything, but nah, I'm not really. That's not my thing.
The kids ruin everything. Thank you.
Kids do ruin everything for at least 10 years. Real quick, and we'll get off this subject and play our next reel. Agreed, because friendships are deeper than relationships. That's what John Burnley said, and I agree with that. In a different way. Let me say that different. They're deeper in a very different way. The bond we form with friends is so much. We're friends with our partner, but it's a very different dynamic. And I think friends, it's heartbreaking because I think in our mind, our friends are gonna, even as little kids, we're like, you're gonna be my best friend forever, and we do believe that.
Oh no, I think this is being said with someone who can't get a relationship. I'm just busting your balls, John.
Wait, who are we talking? Oh, John.
Because John said, yeah.
John said, my cousin, we're talking on YouTube, John Burnley. My cousin owes me $30 and we're not related anymore. Come on now, son, $30.
Hey, at least you went up that high.
All right, John, will you play the next reel?
I don't argue. I don't want to talk about a relationship. If I got to talk about the relationship, then we're not in the relationship. We're walking through your anxiety and through your fears. Because if you're in this relationship, then you're loving me, you're hugging me, you're touching me, we're holding hands, we're laughing together. All this talk about this now, no, you're giving me anxiety. I don't want to argue. I just want to smile. And if I'm 52 and God blesses me to live another 20 years, that means I got more days behind me than I do ahead of me. I'm not letting anybody waste not one fucking moment of my life. I'm going to enjoy this ride. And if I need to be alone to enjoy it, that's what will happen.
How about you actually fucked up?
And that's easy. I'm like, oh, I fucked up. My bad.
You
That's
are
real.
good. You are
My
easy
bad.
to admit.
My bad. I'll do better.
I want to take this first because I saw that reel when it first came out, and you happened to send it. It was like a crossover. We had never discussed this. And I remember resonating so much with that and so much to say. But just personally, I was like, because I always say to you guys, and I have 30 viable fucking years left, and I am not, I say it all the time, and I resonated with it so much, and I'll say why after.
Because you're old.
But so we go from what we were just talking about, and guys, stick around because we're going to talk about pegging at the end of this episode. And
Is that where they're sticking
I didn't know
around?
that. I knew what it was. Or is that why they were sticking around? Anyway, we'll get on that.
Is that what you're looking forward to?
I know. I'm looking back to it.
I'm back on a celibacy kick.
This clip made me think of pegging. What?
Because you have to back it up.
If I need to be happy the rest of my life by myself, pegging.
Oh, shit. Okay, well then, as we were talking about prior to actually getting a relationship, when I look at this clip and I think of people and myself in general, but people, let's just say, once they're in a relationship, I feel like they actively, a lot of them seek to fuck it up. Because the amount of stuff I watch or listen to, in real life or, online, I'm like, they get in and it's like they want to find the dysfunction in it instead of the good. And I was so on board with what he said. What did that make you feel like?
To me, it just made me feel like people need to work on themselves before you get into a relationship, because it's not fair coming into a relationship. Because to me, I take it as like just dumping your stuff on the other person. He was like, I want to enjoy the relationship, and I want to discuss about all the problems that the person has, because it gives you anxiety. That's exactly what he said. You know, he wants to be loved, touched, enjoyed. So you want to be enjoying that relationship, not trying to fix a relationship or fix a person.
Yeah. Julio?
Yeah, it reminds me of a reel I saw a while back, and it was the couple, were together, they got married, they had a kid, and the guy's like on his deathbed, and she's like, "So what are we?"
Oh my God, that's funny.
Like, how more of in a relationship do you have to be before you realize you're in a relationship? You know, but like you said, I think it's people just wondering why is everything going so well. You know, like where like there's something has to be wrong. Like let me find out what's wrong, and then like we said before, you know, if you look for something wrong, you're gonna find it, even if it doesn't exist.
Yeah. So
I did like how he said that. Remember the guy said, how about when you mess up? He says, oh, it's easy. I admit it. Dude, I'm like that, Jess. I don't like to argue.
Correct.
If I mess up, I'm so easy to be like, you know what, I'm sorry, and I mean it. Like, move forward, and I move forward. And I forgive also. Like, You recognize
Well,
what happened?
I know you
Move
forget.
forward. I don't want to be arguing over the same stuff.
I think
That's true.
I think where I've missed the buck before and people miss the buck, and I hope people listening hear this part that you brought this up. I think it's important to allow space for people to say they fucked up because everybody preaches accountability, but we don't allow that space ever for people to be accountable. When somebody comes to me and tells me, I'm sorry, I screwed up, first of all, I mean, all right, there's going to be circumstances like people really fuck up. I get it. I'm talking day to day or upset you. We're like, well, you should have fucking thought about blah, blah, blah before you had that, blah, blah, blah. And I'm guilty of it too in the past, guys. I'm not saying that, especially way back. I wouldn't say in my last relationship, but way back. And I'm definitely guilty of that before. And I've learned from it, right? First of all, I want the same fucking piece he wants. If I have to babysit for 1 minute, if I have to worry about you fucking somebody else, like, or fighting with you every day, it's exhausting.
Yeah.
It's so exhausting. But I think you got to allow space for someone to say, babe, you know what? I was in a fucked up mood this morning. I had a phone call from work right before I was leaving the house, and I took it out on you 100%. Now, the behavior still has to be corrected.
Yeah.
You can't just do that every time. You need to have better reactionary to your own stress. But I think we have to allow space. I also think that we're creatures of habit, and we go, if toxicity is familiar, we're going back to it. And when we finally, hold on, let me finish.
No, I'm not going to say anything. I'm just,
And then when we finally do get something good, because remember what we say, and I do inherently from doing this show believe this and talking to so many healthy couples that are happy and they're banging and they're joyful and like they're actually happy. It's the same recipe every time. You need to be asking questions up front to find out what type of person this is. And if it's a good person and you've determined that with all the trust and instinct in yourself and you're in love and a good man or woman, or then literally stop fucking it up. Like, stop fucking it up.
Yeah.
Stop searching for the bad. And the reason that you are is because toxicity is familiar to you.
Yeah.
Believe this is my scariest thing walking into my next partnership, because I never knew this till doing this show, and it really is a product of the show, that legit being in toxic situations, being gaslit, being all these things, and having reactions to that is extremely comfortable for me. But I never want to fucking do it again, ever. And I've got to learn that healthy isn't boring, and I feel like I'm there, but it has been a process to recognize that in yourself and go, oh, because I don't know anything else.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I haven't had good relationship. I'm not, but you see what I mean?
Yeah. I hear you.
So the other, I think you're thriving off toxicity if you are in trying to find fault all the time. Guy, let me tell you, at 49 and being single, be grateful if you found a good person and you think they're the one. And we got to stop missing what relationships are, I think, which goes back to that last segment we did where, you know, we're overlooking what's really important, and the human connection and the love and all the good things. And yes, there's always challenges, but they don't have to be like a goddamn cliff. You're flying off a cliff. It can be like a little rock pebble on the thing. Like, it doesn't have to be that. Stop. I do hopefully pray to God have 30 viable years left. Appreciate a good man. Appreciate a good woman. Look past things. People are going to suck sometimes. It's okay.
Yeah.
Julio, anything else?
I'd rather them suck a little bit more than just a little bit.
Frankie, you just like to suck on. Oh, real quick before we go on. Oh, Laura, hold on. Let me read the YouTube comments. Laura, so exhausting. I distanced myself from somebody this week who constantly started arguing when I told them something bothered me. Well, that actually is a form of real gaslighting if they consistently do that. Because it's also, anytime somebody says that to me, that's not a friend. If they do it once, you know, but if I'm upset, like, you don't have to agree. I might be flying off the handle. I might be doing all those things, but that's how I feel. It's how I fucking feel in the moment.
I tell you what, though, it also depends how much you start saying what bothers you. When I was first married, I was pointing out to the ex-wife everything that she was doing wrong, and it wasn't because I was trying to belittle her or anything. I just wanted her to, I don't know. I just wanted to do. I don't know. I just wanted to make things right, perfect. I guess.
Never,
the
ever
phrase
a
was-
good idea.
No, I know.
The
but,
phrase was, "That's not how my mom would do it."
But so when she brought it up, it reminded me of how my father always wanted me to do everything,
Yeah.
perfect, right? And he would always highlight every little thing I did wrong. So when she brought it up to me, instead of me getting all upset and arguing, I remembered that and I changed my ways.
Yeah.
I was like, I apologized.
Well, it creates resentment. It's
Yeah,
a
I
friends,
apologize
family,
that I wasn't
anybody.
trying to
If
do
that's
that.
all you do is point
Yeah.
out where somebody fails, instead of, and it's good to praise people, good people, for what they're. People are like, oh, you don't want to tell them they're doing good. I'm like, oh, you absolutely do, because then those people want to work harder for you and do better, not only for you but for themselves as well. So it's okay to critique people. It's okay to say like this, that, and the other, but you equally need to recognize people on every level, whether that's in a workspace, a family space, a relationship. I think it's extremely important. I go out of my way. I'm a very thoughtful person, so I'll go out of my way to do that. I've always been that. I've always been a bitch too, but thoughtful.
Yeah.
thoughtful
I'll
bitch.
randomly,
I'm thoughtful.
in my group text, I'll randomly text Julio. I just think you're blah 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 out of nowhere, and just like I thought about it, and I wanted you to feel good about yourself because that's what I thought about you that day. You know what I mean?
I was thinking like of a negative comment. I imagined myself crying in the bathroom.
I also tell you guys you're fucking assholes on a daily. No, I'm
There
kidding.
it is.
Which is actually going to be one of my questions.
But because I'm somewhat of a masochist, that like makes my day. It's like, yes, I got called an asshole today. Let's get it.
Weirdo. Fucking weirdo. Laura says, apparently I'm crazy for wanting respect. Laura, so as much as I know how that feels, I think that you have to take that out of your head and reword it and just put, I want respect. And the more you say that to yourself, take the rest of that sentence out. I want respect. And the more you say it to yourself, the more you'll start to act like that. And the more you walk away from people who make you feel that way, you're going to feel a lot better and you won't get involved, I promise, with as many of those people. Trust me, I did it. And it's not easy. Encouragement is healthy. People react better. 100%. If you look at all people who just, even in the worst times, have a good aura about them, great leaders, all in encouraging people, I 100% agree. They react way better. And then you're going to have your one-off that takes fucking advantage of anything. You're going to have your wife, like, you overpraise her, she's going to just run with it. Like,
yeah, of course.
Work, it doesn't matter. You always have the one-off that ruins it for everybody.
Is that why people are getting into praise kinks lately?
What is it?
Praise kinks?
Oh, like
Like when they're like, "Oh, you're such a good girl."
are we back to praise kinks? That's so weird to me.
That's what I'm saying. But that's like lots. It's like trending lately.
Is it?
Yeah, because people don't get encouragement or praise enough.
But you're talking about sex.
I mean,
Look, if that's the only praise you got from me, I'm probably not in it because I want to be praised in real life too. I already know I'm good there. No, I'm kidding.
In theory, it's been so long. In theory, I think I'm still good.
We can only hope. This poor girl.
Hey, my moves, the only moves I have require working through a bush. So I don't know if that's as long as it's been.
Oh my God.
Those same moves.
Oh my God. Jeff talked. Jeff's going to talk on pegging because I know.
He's holding all his thoughts for the pegging.
No, I'm listening. You guys are on topics that,
You don't talk about. I know.
yeah.
That's fine.
That trigger you.
What would you like to talk
No,
about,
they don't
Jeff?
trigger me. I don't have as much input as you guys have for some of the stuff you're talking about.
Well, Jeff.
How
Jeff
much
likes
input
to
do you want? Like,
Jeff likes to pretend he doesn't care about anything, but really he does.
he wants enough input, as in like pegging.
Jeff, do you want input of pegging?
I definitely don't want to input on that.
we wouldn't peg you for it.
Oh my God, stop. I heard that one. So
You would
any-
peg me for somebody who's into that.
So for anybody who's listening and goes back to Spot, we're on. Just so you guys know, we're on all the apps: Spotify, Amazon Music, Apple, Pandora, Deezer, YouTube, obviously, RSS Community. What am I missing? Oh God, Samsung podcast.
Apple Music.
Apple. I did Apple.
TikTok, Instagram, Facebook.
Well, yeah, I said that already. But if you go back and listen,
VHS,
John.
DVDs.
Do not say TikTok.
And soon to be
No, I said it in the beginning.
some big news coming for 2025 that will be on even more places.
We're coming to IMAX.
John, I said it at the beginning of the show.
Oh, well, I didn't realize you're counting those in
No,
with
I'm
your.
going to say something about Julio. So if you go and listen back to the podcast, almost any one of them, and I don't catch it when I'm here, Julio's background witty little shout outs are fucking hilarious. Like, I will be getting ready in the morning. I have literally been doing my mascara and went like this because they're so fucking funny. That one I caught. But there's so many of them he says in the background during the show, and I hear them and I piss myself.
I guess I'll write them down.
No, don't, because then you'll fuck it up and you won't say them anymore.
Well,
I'm
not
sure.
before, like all the ones I've said, so I don't repeat myself.
No. Oh, yeah. No, I like them. They're really good. All right, we're moving on to pegging.
I'm not a repegger.
All right.
Wait, do we have any more reels? We don't have any more.
Show
Reels?
the pegging reels, John.
We do in the next.
Oh, okay.
In the next.
I don't know. I kind of like that. I like that
Did I
purging.
send you a
You
peg?
send me a pegging reel video.
Okay.
Oh, was there really?
Pornhub link.
So-
and
Hopefully, they don't recognize my ass cheeks.
We're gonna purge sexual judgment. Purge is in the thing. We're purging sexual judgment. So here's, and I'll tell you how this came up. All right.
Hold on tight because we are entering the realm of pegging. This term got its fancy title back in 2001, essentially just describing a vagina owner giving her partner a bit of adventurous fun with a strap-on. Now, everyone can just toss on a strap-on, but today we are zooming in on the magical world of pegging. Why might a penis owner want to join this unique party? It's kind of like having a golden egg tucked up in your booty. We're talking mind-blowing. Did that just happen? Orgasms. Picture this. Your prostate, a little treasure in front of the rectum, about the size of a walnut, gets the VIP treatment, leading to some serious pleasure perks. The prostate is the unsung hero of maintaining erections and pulling off the grand finale of the Big O. Now for the million-dollar question. How is this done? You can imagine a little bit of creativity, dash of communication, and then of course a trusty strap-on. If you need to get a hold of one of these bad boys, check out my profile. And if you found this helpful, make sure to hit that like button and follow me for more.
Yeah.
Gimme
What's up?
a man after midnight.
I'm chewing my gum too loud.
I love that
Sorry,
song.
guys.
A good friend would share some gum.
I'm out. That was my last piece.
I saw you like just chewing the whole bag over there.
Oh, I
Yo,
usually
I'm not
finish
gonna
my
lie.
whole pack of gum in a night and I swallow every piece.
I'm not gonna lie.
Oh, it just swallows everybody.
I was clenching my butt cheeks the whole clip.
Why?
She made a lot of eye contact every time she said pegging.
I don't care how amazing the orgasm they're claiming to be. I have zero interest.
How would she know?
Zero interest
How would she know?
in having my anus penetrated and
How
played
would
with.
she know? It's
Zero interest.
You know?
Like zero. Negative.
Frankie.
I have zero interest.
Do you have zero interest, or is it 0.5%, or is it
No,
zero interest?
Zero.
No tip.
to me personally,
No tip inserted.
Nah, to
I mean,
me,
interesting.
Yes, it's still live.
to me as a man, for me personally, I just find it emasculating. for
Okay,
me.
you.
Bro, just relax. Like you're like.
Does
a little
anybody
too-
in
I just
here?
want to clarify. I just want to make it clear.
Okay,
Zero
so
interest.
If anybody didn't catch that pegging, so this came up because of this reason, and then we'll go to what pegging is. So I'm watching TikTok today, and this chick makes this TikTok, and she's a very I say normal. I don't you know me, but very normal looking, wholesome looking woman, and not that it's unwholesome to peg. Again,
Well, I mean, there is a hole involved, so it's gotta
but
be somewhat wholesome.
it
right?
was not what I expected to come out of her mouth. So I'm listening, and she's like, yeah, so I was on this first date, and we're sitting at the bar, and halfway through our drink, he's like, so I just have to let you know that I'm really into pegging. and that's, been a problem in the past. Are you okay with it? And she was like, yeah, fine, whatever. Literally, she's like, and it's the whatever what did it for me. So when they finished their drinks and she had to use the restroom, but really she was going to look up what the fuck pegging was. And she ends the video by going, yeah, no, not happening. Ever.
So she wasn't like, I beg your pardon?
Oh my God, that's super, super funny. So basically what it is a girl wearing a strap on and penetrating a guy. And a lot of guys do this. I think we've heard people on our show that have done it.
Yeah.
And so I don't, so somebody asked me today, does that, as a man, would that make me bisexual? I was talking to someone today and I was like, no, I think bisexual is a completely different thing. That's if this is a feeling between two partners. I think bisexuality is something you feel and you know who you are and you like both. This has nothing to do with that. This has to do with the orgasm. That's my personal opinion. Your sexuality is based off who you're attracted to and who you like, and that's two very different things. I don't think they're one and the same at all. And like we said, in the very descriptive episode we had a few weeks ago,
very descriptive,
that men do enjoy it, and all men, a lot of men who have had it happen to them,
Men
whether
that have
that's
had it happen to them enjoy it.
well, the men have their G spot just like chicks do. So I mean, Julio, would you do it?
No.
You would not do it.
I would not. I mean,
I feel like out of the two brothers, you'd be the freakier one.
I mean, I'd have to be like drunk. Like, buy me a drink first, Jess.
John, would you do it?
John ran away. Like,
John is not going to admit it. He's already
No.
done it.
He's like, again.
again.
Okay.
I wouldn't let it happen again.
I mean,
No, I'm fucking with you. I'm not.
okay. Jeff, I know you have.
Jeff is
right?
like, just call me Peggy.
No, I have not. I had, when I was much, much younger, somebody trying to put a finger up there. That was not to my liking.
I probably had to bleach my asshole first.
Yeah, I mean, like if I
Bleach
was
your-
with somebody in a committed relationship, and they really wanted to give it a
Have
try
that
because they'd never done
dominance,
it,
yeah.
and whatever. I'd probably give them the opportunity, but it definitely, if I didn't like it, I wouldn't do it again.
Yeah.
If it's on my bucket list.
I mean, I'm pretty open, but there's limitations.
Yeah. Yeah. I see nothing wrong with it. I think a lot of men
There's
like
nothing
it.
wrong with it. It's just not for me.
Oh, I know. I know you didn't mean that. Sorry. I didn't mean to put it in that context like you did.
Yeah,
Jeff.
don't put it in that context.
Frankie, you're just sitting here.
I already said what I said. What do you want me to say?
Yeah.
You're not gonna, open up that hole in Frankie's.
Not without it being bleached.
No, like I said, I have zero interest.
What if a girl said, I'll let you lick my feet forever? She was the hottest thing
Zero
and nicest thing.
interest.
And she said, but I need to bang you with
I
a
will
strap
never
on
have
first.
sex ever again if that's on the table. Like, nope. No, thank you.
Really?
Yeah, no, zero interest.
So I will tell you that I think I told you that I had a rendezvous with Brittany Andrews, the porn queen, when I was hanging out with Porno Dan.
I remember hearing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she wanted to do that, but I was not having it.
Not having it.
And that was a pro doing
No,
it.
there
too.
was a couple other guys there that were allowing it because they
Yeah.
wanted to get with her, but I was not having that.
Or do you not want to do it because why don't you want to do it? I'm being serious. I'm not being
Because he
coy.
might like it too much.
No,
No,
is it
I-
more you're afraid? Because that's what the guy asked me today. Would that make me? Does that mean I am bisexual? And that's.
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. I mean, and we love our LGBTQ community. That's not what I mean. But somebody did ask me that
that's
today.
just because a girl blows you doesn't mean that you're gay either. Like if a girl's doing it to you, I think
Yeah.
who's doing it to you matters.
Yeah.
I
agree.
don't think that it's something comfortable that I would. I mean, like I said, I had the finger search up there, and it was not
cavity
comfortable.
search.
It wasn't like maybe if I was more prepared or more lubed up or whatever, but it was like I was like 21, and it was like an older lady who was all into it, and she kept
Yeah.
trying, and I was like, nah, she got it one time. I was like, woo.
I think 21 too would be, I think for anybody, especially dudes, a very different age to, like for that to happen.
Yeah, but
versus
I was
now.
pretty experienced at 21.
Okay, all right. Everybody else but you.
No, but I mean, there's a lot of people.
Yeah.
It doesn't. I don't think it has to do with.
Yeah.
That's for like
That
your dirty
necessarily.
30s. That's
Dirty
what-
30s.
Yeah.
Well, I don't see anything
Oh
wrong with it.
no.
I
I'm in
mean,
my 30s.
I think it's absolutely fine.
To each his
That's
own.
not happening to you.
Yeah, but I would have to give it.
Now I'm just like the fear is like, what if the strap-on's not, long enough and doesn't reach the.
I mean, so as a
Get it.
female though, Jess, as a female,
Get a better strap on.
No,
as a female, what pleasure does it bring? Is it because of authority, dominance? Because obviously
Normally-
you don't feel anything because it's the.
I think normally when I hear this from men, it's men that want it to be done to them. When I've heard it from men that want
Yeah.
it to be done to them. So I don't know their reason. I think that's just for pure pleasure. I mean that is just proven guy after guy that when you have that, it's pure pleasure, right, for a man. I get why there's what's the word, Jeff? What's the word I'm looking for? Something.
Condensation.
No, he knows.
Condemnation.
No, where there's stigmatism attached to that, and it shouldn't be.
Yeah, stigmatized.
Stigmatized, and it shouldn't be. But
Thank you,
for
Laura.
women, I can only assume. Laura says I wouldn't do it. Exit only. Frankie needs to be milked. Elaborate on that, Spicy Ron. I don't know what that
please
means.
don't.
Oh yes,
Milk
please.
your prostate.
I know. I'm just
Oh.
trying to get him to say it.
I don't know what that means.
I think it could be dominance, of course. I mean, that would be the only thing. Control makes sense to me.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I found it interesting. I thought you guys would find it way more interesting. Way to ruin the fucking show and my ending, guys. Frankie's freaked out over here.
I know, Frank's.
I mean,
What is wrong with you? You were so excited, and
He's
now
so
you're
backed
just
up
sitting
against the
there
couch.
like he's backed up. That's right.
I'm
He's
saying
backed
there's
up from that.
Look, a lot of things are done in the name of pleasure, right? I just don't need to go to that extreme to. Yeah.
What's the most extreme thing you've ever done?
Ask your doctor.
Just a tip.
You've had the tip in your ass?
No, kidding.
Well, what's the most
joke.
craziest thing you've ever done then?
No, I mean nothing crazy. I'm pretty conservative.
Really, you put whole feets in your mouth at
Yeah, but
pools
that's
in
what
Miami?
is that? I mean,
I don't know. There's some FaceTime calls that are kind of like.
yeah, nothing.
Nothing.
I mean, I've gotten a golden shower. I mean,
You have?
yeah.
You didn't say that on the last show when we did a show about golden shower. You did not.
I know. It's all been about me.
Maybe it just happened.
Did it just happen?
Damn.
No,
And you
no,
didn't tell us?
No, it happened a while back, but it's not. But it's like if you ask me, do I like when a woman squirts on me? It happened. I wasn't like, oh my god, this is gross. It just happened.
That's different from a golden shower, though.
Did you like that?
I mean, I don't know if I.
Why do you think he had to dye his beard, Jess? It was too red.
I mean, I guess it was kind of. I guess it was satisfying to have a woman, make a woman orgasm to that point that she squirts. But
Frankie's like in this thought.
no, I'm just scratching my head.
He's
But I don't
remembering.
know if it's like something that I'm like, oh my god, this is amazing. It just happened. I'm not
Yeah.
for it or against it. If it happens, if a woman is a squirter, she's a squirter.
Yeah.
But this one was like, I mean, just
Okay, we don't need it. Okay.
just like
Okay, Jason Jr.
tidal wave all over my face.
Okay, Jason Jr.
Again, as to why he had to dye
Jason
his.
Jr. That's what we're naming Frank. Jess Jr.
Jess Jr.
Now we have Jason Jr.
Okay, Peggy Sue.
Oh my God! All right. Well, we let's a couple more things. Don't forget, guys.
I
This
never, ever,
Saturday,
ever getting back to that.
we have TCB fights and TCBtickets.com. November 30th. Taylor, y'all better come dance with me. I'm so excited. It's gonna be good.
Yeah, we'll discuss
And
it.
then, what else did I want to say? Oh, by the time our next episode, we're going to record right after this. We're going to take a pause because I need to go bathroom. And we're going to record one, not live, guys. We're going to do this one, and we'll put that out, in the next week or so because we won't be around the next couple weeks for sure.
Unless it
And
sucks.
happy Thanksgiving to everyone. Don't fight at your dinner table, but if you do, definitely record it for us because I want to see it. I want to fucking throw hands. No, I'm kidding. I don't promote violence. The joke. And don't forget, follow us again on socials. Happy Thanksgiving. And what do we say? Life is too short for bad sex and shitty relationships. Take good care, guys. Thank you for tuning in. Later.
Later.
Let me know if you need a date for Thanksgiving dinner.